Hello, welcome to episode 306, another 7 curious, interesting things. So let's start with a social media app called Roost Social. Yes, it is social media, so this is slow. You send it at the speed of a bird, or indeed a snail, I think you can choose as well. So you choose the one you want, broadly speaking, 39 miles an hour for most birds, it seems, and you send your message at that speed. So if you are in Europe and you have a friend in America, it's going to take days, if not weeks, to get there. But that's the whole point. If you do want it to get there quicker, you can train your birds in the app using some mini games as well. So, but what's the point of that? So it's available for Android and iOS if you want that. So they're great. Bizarre idea, love it. This is the new labeling system for music. And why do we need this? Well, certain platforms, about 50% of all the music being uploaded is AI. So we need some labels at least so we know what we're talking about, or at least getting into and listening. So this is from, I think, 14 organizations, including IFPI, RIA and the Grammys, and has two labels. One is AI generated, i.e. the whole thing can be AI generated, and the other one is AI assisted. So it can have bits of AI in it, maybe one track or maybe some effects, but it has to be human performed, and the primary instruments need to be done by humans as well. So look out for those labels, big AI or small AI. So voluntary for now, but hopefully we'll see more of those. This is Dave Plummer. Dave Plummer is awesome. His videos are always awesome. He's got a bit of a bee in his bonnet right now about application bloat. So this is where applications are bigger than they really need to be. So Notepad being possibly the poster child for this. So although it's only 808 installed kilobytes, it doesn't need to be. So he's rewritten the whole thing again in 2.5 kilobytes just to show people that bloat is real. So it does everything. It does search and replace. It has different fonts. It can print, it can do all those good things in 2.5K. He's written it in assembly language, which is no mean feat. You can see some of it there. But there you go. So application bloat is a thing and we need to fight it. And well done, Dave, for showing us how it's done. This is the new world's fastest electric vehicle, I think it is, flying vehicle. Now, previously, I've been following a couple of YouTubers. There's two YouTuber families, essentially, trying to get the fastest drones. And there's a couple of businesses as well. I think Rolls-Royce used to have the commercial record for it. And now Quantum Systems has it. And this is their new drone. This is called Record Hunter, obviously, because it's hunting records. So it went to 699 kilometers an hour. They must be annoyed they couldn't get to 700. But this is just the start, really, and that's 434 miles per hour. There you go. Why would you want one of these? Well, it's really for intercepting in war zones, as you'd imagine. Now, if you look at the next sort of level of jets, then it's no way going to outrun one of those, because they may be like 4 or 5 times faster than this. So however, if you point it in the other direction, it's going to intercept it pretty quickly. So that's what it's for. That's where the records are coming right now. So yeah, it'll be a little bit quicker than you can probably hear it coming towards you. But there you go. These are stretchable displays, and but without distortion. So what you're seeing here is what's called an auxetic display, or at least an auxetic material. An auxetic material, new word for the day, means that if you stretch it, it almost does the opposite of what you're expecting. Usually if you stretch something, it gets longer and thinner, where an auxetic thing might actually get wider as you stretch it as well. So that's what's happening here. So a display embedded in an auxetic material. So as you stretch it by up to 20%, the display doesn't actually stretch at all. As the material stretches, the display doesn't, and it works in the opposite way as well. So you can stretch it by up to 20% and the display in the middle doesn't actually change. So this is going to be possibly the future of wearables, or at least exoskins, or it's skins for humanoid robots of the future. So they can be more organic, but still actually maintain logos, screens, displays, that sort of thing. There you go. There's been a new update to the DuckDuckGo browser. Now, if you're into DuckDuckGo, then great. It's got a new feature, which I'm not so sure about, to be honest, which is, yes, it does a great job of blocking ads. If you've got an ad blocker, this is probably one of the primary browsers for doing that. It also is great at not tracking cookies. So it's a really good privacy-first format, or at least browser. If you wanted to watch YouTube videos in the past, then you would use its Duck Player, which would then strip out the adverts into that. But now it does it native within YouTube. So if you're watching YouTube within the DuckDuckGo browser, then the ads will be stripped out. Now, if you're a creator, then this is probably not a great thing, and it's probably penalizing the wrong people. So I do agree with cluttered websites and all that nonsense and horrible retargeting, but possibly YouTube ads, I think, is probably going the wrong direction. So not so sure about that one, but if you're into DuckDuckGo browser, there has been an update your browser and do that thing. And finally, we have the JSpace. So this is a paper, or at least a long website. It's very readable, by the way. Slightly simplistic video on it, but this is what you're seeing here. And this is about what's called the Jacobian space, which is the bit in an AI where it does the actual thinking before it tells you what the answer is. So you have an input, and then you have this thinking space where it figures out what the next most interesting thing is going to say is, and then it tells you that. Now, actually, it discards quite a lot, or there's a lot going on in that space that it doesn't tell you about. So this is what it's trying to tell you, what the J space is. Now, if you can reach into the J space and see what it's thinking, there's a lot of weird stuff going on there. So for instance, when it tells you it hasn't got any data, it has a couple of options. One, it'll say, oh, I don't have any data. The other one, it can just put some data in there and hope you don't notice. And whilst it's thinking about that, it's actually thinking about dishonesty, and it's thinking about sort of fake and all those sorts of words as well. And then it decides, actually, do you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. So it's really interesting. If you can reach inside to the J space and find out what these models are thinking, that should be surfaced a little bit more. So rather than having to double guess or at least check an AI, you can say, well, what were you thinking about when you came up with this? Is it lying? Is it trying to do something? Or is it generally doing all of the research you wanted it to do? There you go. That's the J space. If you can reach into it, what would we find out? What don't we want to find out? Hopefully that was interesting. Hopefully it was useful. If you're not subscribed, you know what to do, and I'll see you again next week.